Welcome to SuperTalk, the podcast that scratches your superhero itch. Just two suburban dads nerding out over superhero stuff on the small screen and the big. Buckle up, people. Enjoy the ride. And YouTube. All right. Like a gentleman. Mr. Professor, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
And 3.
Welcome to SuperTalk, the weekly podcast dedicated to news and reviews of comic book media on the big and small screen. This is episode number 97. I'm your host, Brian Professor Pettis, and with me, as always, is my illustrious co-host, Titanium Tony Estrella. Titanium.
Professor Pettis.
You had a very adventurous Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it was great. All the family was here. Super exciting. Out-of-town visitors, out-of-town guests. A really good day. I had to work Friday, so I was at work, and the wife and the extended family and my brother's wife and dogs, and they took all the dogs to Manassas Battlefield, and somebody busted into my wife's car, broke the window, smashed the window. It was a smash and grab. Smashed the window, stole her purse and my my vest, my North Face vest.
Unbelievable.
That she was wearing. Yeah, so had to cancel the credit cards, the gas card. Needs
Great time of year for that, huh?
Yeah, it came at a perfect time, and I'm getting all these notices on Amazon. Cannot deliver. Lack of funds. No fun. They're like, update your payment method. Update your payment method. I'm like, oh, geez. So it's a huge inconvenience, but we got.
Well, let's just say safely, there's no convenient time to lose your wallet.
No.
Or lose a credit card or anything like that. But this is just
fun fact for you. I put it on Nextdoor. That website. What's it called? Nextdoor something. Nextdoor. Maybe it's just called Nextdoor. Yeah. It's a website.
Girl Next Door?
Website. No, it's not Girl Next Door. It's a community website. It's a social community website where you can put information on. I said what happened, and it's funny. A lot of people commented like, I'm not blaming the victim here, but I never leave valuables in my car. I'm like, well,
really?
If you say you're not blaming the victim, you are by saying that. So a lot of righteous people were like, well, you shouldn't leave and blah, blah, blah.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
It's
you know what? You're with a bunch of family. It's the holidays. You got the dogs. You're going on a hike through Manassas Battlefield, and you don't think of
that's what got me is it's a public location and there's people out there. And
when I put it on that site, a lot of people were like, oh, that happened to me in the same parking lot.
Yeah.
And there were 3 other trailheads. So if you go to a trailhead, what they do is they scope you out. They wait, nice cars or whatever. They wait till you park. They scope you out. They see who it is. And as soon as you're out of sight, they go and they hit your car. Or they look in your car to see if there's anything to grab, bust a window, grab it, and then they take off. So a lot of trailheads in the area. Ashburn, the police were saying that Ashburn's gotten hit several times. So it happens more than you think. And apparently I didn't know that until, that's why I put it on the site to see if this was some kind of trend. So it's happening. And in these times, people get desperate. So
yeah.
It's a crime of opportunity. But, to get a new driver's license and all that rigmarole.
And you said you had to order a new window for a car, and it was going to be like 2 weeks before it came in or something?
It's a week. It'll be in Wednesday. But you got to go through the insurance, and they got to come take pictures. And, right now there's a trash bag.
Just fun stuff you like doing during the holidays, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? No one was hurt, so we're blessed.
Thankfully everybody's okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, let's get into the fun stuff, and let's talk about comic book media. We would like to thank the patrons. These are the listeners that bring the show to you. Patreon.com/SuperTalk is how you become a member. All you got to do is donate $1 every time we come out with one of these silly episodes, and you become a patron, and you're now directly supporting the show. So thanks for those of you that signed up. I really appreciate it, and we really are looking for some more assistance. So sign up for us. Patreon.com/SuperTalk is how you become a member. All right, well, let's mention we also have a very special episode 3 weeks from now.
Yep.
Our 100, gosh, it's 3 weeks from now.
3 weeks from now, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like almost here. Special
this is episode 97, so
98, 99. God, we got 3 weeks. Man, this is going to be on us before we know it.
I know.
We're doing our 100th episode live at Guapo's in Fairfax, Virginia, Fair Lake Shopping Center. Be there or be square, December 26th at 3 p.m.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. If you come at 3,
it'll be over.
It'll be over. But yeah, come at 1 p.m. Fair Lakes Guapo's, and we're going to be doing a live broadcast, live recording there.
Yeah.
Again, margaritas on titanium, so we're going to be really happy about that. And
yeah, come have a margarita with us. Come have a little drinky poo. Raul said he might create some kind of happy hour special, a bucket of high noons or something for a special price. They got great food. It looks like it's going to be a crew. So I've been kind of hyping it up on social media and talking about it with friends and family. So please, even if you're not friends and family, come say hello. Let's talk geek culture and let's talk superhero and what was 2022 and what will be 2023 as far as comic book media.
Yeah, and I'm trying to come up with a special giveaway for the 100th episode as well. So we'll put our heads together and think about that.
Yeah, we got some swag. We definitely have some swag that we can give away, and we got some other little surprises that I don't even think I've told you about.
Oh,
yeah,
even better.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Love those kind of surprises. All right, anyway, be there Monday, December 26th. We'd love to see you in person. Come join us. It'd be
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
It'd be a great time. All right, well, let's jump into the new review section. We did have a new episode of Titans this week, episode 5. A little bit of a follow-on from the previous episode. Again, Sebastian in the care of the Titans at Star Labs, kind of like trying to ride out the red moon that they were concerned about being the beginning of the end of the world,
blood moon,
the blood moon, right? And Connor, as we mentioned last episode, is dealing with some weird things going on with his body. We understand he threw up a snake into a toilet, and now he's kind of like been possessed by Mother Mayhem, and so all this stuff is happening, and the Titans are fighting off everything, and Sebastian ends up being freed by Connor, and then they're trying to let him escape. It really was about Mother Mayhem getting getting Sebastian back. And by the end of the episode, she does. I mean, she basically takes it back to the Church of Blood and says it's time to fulfill your destiny. Right? So this is really kind of setting up the confrontation with the Church of Blood, and I think ultimately his ascension into Brother Blood, which I believe they're kind of going to turn him into.
I like this episode. I thought it was great. I thought it was super creative what they did with Gar, how he helped save Connor by transforming into a virus.
That was so cool.
That was cool.
So they were trying to figure out if there's a way to save him, and he had to say, well, I've turned into other things before. Maybe I can turn into a virus, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he turns into a virus. He infects Connor, and then he infects the snake and kills the snake and kills whatever was inside controlling him. And then they end up figuring out some way to get him out, and they put him in this liquid and goo, and then he transforms back.
That was pretty cool.
He was like, man, that was a wild ride. It was great. It was good writing. You know?
And then
I thought it was neat.
There's another little side plot with Starfire and
Smoke Show.
Yeah, exactly. Starfire and Raven had taken Sebastian to this diner to kind of sequester him, kind of hide him out. And Starfire has had these I'll say mental visions from her old captain from back on Tamaran, her old planet, and basically saying, "Look, you got to kill him. It's the only way that this prophecy ends the right way. You got to kill him." And she's like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And of course she's not, because she's a heroine. But anyway, I thought that's kind of interesting, because she's now still starting to hear some things back from her home planet still. That's kind of interesting as well. So, but we'll see where it goes. I think they're moving forward with this plot line, and they're setting up this big confrontation with the Church of Blood. And again, I'm just really pleased with this season, the way that they've really got a succinct team, and they're keeping with that team, and everybody's kind of individually still developing themselves as characters, but there's a lot of good fight scenes and everything else. I think it's been really good so far.
I thought this was a better episode than the one before. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. Yeah, good.
All right, well, that's episode 5. We got another one this week. So, and again, that came out on Thanksgiving, and we get to watch it over the weekend, which is awesome. So, all right, well, let's jump into the news section. A few things this week. I don't know if you've seen this on your dark websites, Titanium, but lots of rumors now. We talked about last week Bob Iger returning to Disney, taking back over Disney from Bob Chapek, and he's on a 2-year contract, and they're like, hey, he's coming back to clean house and get the company back online. And lots of rumors out there now that he might be putting Disney up for sale, which is just, when you think about something like that, a company like Disney being up for sale, a multi-billion-dollar company, somebody that's got over $200 billion in assets worldwide, being up for sale. Number one, there's not a lot of companies out there that can afford to buy them.
Yeah.
And number two, this would be one of the biggest sales in corporate history if it ever happened.
I heard it was Apple that they were romancing the idea, but then some economists and some other people refuted that, saying there would be no way that Apple could do that.
It would affect their bottom. I mean, obviously spending a couple hundred billion dollars to acquire a company would be,
especially since they just built that mothership of an office and headquarters out there in California.
Cupertino.
Crazy headquarters, around giant spaceship headquarters. Anyway, I heard...
it's like, who else could do it?
I don't know. I don't see that happening. I see them maybe selling off pieces of it.
That is more likely.
That is more likely. I could see them selling
maybe
off
some of the
pieces
acquisitions they've made over the last couple of years that haven't really panned out, like Hulu or National Geographic or whatever it might be. The other... I'm just saying, here's one company I want to throw out there that could afford to buy them, and it would make a lot of sense, and boy, would it make our lives a lot of fun. Sony.
Wow. Okay.
Sony buys Disney, and now we've got the Spider-Verse integrated with Marvel, because now they're part of the same company.
Yeah.
There's no more deviation of who owns what and where. It's all now together. Now we have some really small little fractions of characters that might not be under the same umbrella. That would be monumental.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
It's just a rumor. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be cool. At least some aspects of it they would buy. Sony would buy certain aspects of it. I don't see Sony running the park like the parks. I think they kept that separate from the media entity the entertainment.
So maybe So think about that. That could be a way that Disney kind of divests themselves of the media arm of the company, right? Divest themselves of Marvel Studios, ESPN, ABC Television, Lucasfilm. We're going to take all the media and we're going to sell it all, package it up, sell it off, and now Disney is now just the parks and everything else.
Right.
Hey, look, nobody knows anything. This is all rumor, conjecture, speculation. Yeah. We don't know anything, but it was just a way.
It's something we're going to keep our eye on for sure.
Well, I think we expect some pretty substantial changes within the company over the next 2 years.
I agree, and he's already let the head of streaming go. The head of that is gone. He's brought back some people that Chapek let go. That were, I guess, really creative people, and Disney.
Some of the Imagineers.
Some of those people that believed in that, and good storytelling people. He let them go because, I guess, financially they didn't make sense to what they wanted to do. And again, I say the weakest link here is Pixar and Lucasfilms. I think those two have been underperforming, and I think her name is Kathleen Kennedy. They call her KK. Kathleen Kennedy runs Lucasfilms, and I think she needs to go. She really does. I mean, I just don't see, besides The Mandalorian and a few...
Andor.
Andor got kind of... A lot of people are like, Andor's not Star Wars. That's... I mean, the truest. There was no really lightsabers in it. There was no blasters all the time. There was... I thought Andor was brilliant. I thought Andor is the future of the Star Wars storytelling. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was adult.
Well, let's be honest. 10 years ago, we never could have imagined where they would have gone with the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Think about it. 10 years ago, this is before the last trilogy of movies came out, right? We had the original trilogy, we had the prequel, which was highly, I'll say, not very well received by the Star Wars community. And then we had a bunch of like animated shows, like Clone Wars and a bunch of other things that had come out. But we didn't have any of this other stuff.
Yeah.
And what they've done since, and whether you like the last 3 movies or not, I'm just saying what they've done since with some of the other properties like The Mandalorian, and spinning off into Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan and all these other things. It's been pretty good. The stuff on Disney Plus has been pretty good.
Unfortunately, that's all they've done,
Right.
And with that
What's the next movie coming out?
Right, exactly. I mean, you can't just fantasize about these things, and hopefully they're getting their act straight. So we'll see. That's going to be interesting where they go. All
right, we did hear some positive news this week. We've talked about a couple weeks ago how James Gunn has taken over as the creative director for DC, Warner Brothers Discovery,
right.
The DC arm. We're really excited about him taking over. I mean, he's such a visionary, and we'll get a little bit more into his vision when we talk about the holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy. But he came out this past week and confirmed there's a lot of rumor and speculation about a Green Lantern series on HBO Max, Green Lantern Corps series specifically, talk about potentially a Green Lantern movie project or integrating the Green Lantern character into future movies. And he basically came out and said, yes, we're doing both of those.
Yeah.
We are moving forward with a Green Lantern Corps project on HBO Max, and we will be exploring the Green Lantern Corps and all the Green Lanterns around the galaxy. That is something we are doing. And we do absolutely plan to have the Green Lantern character show up on the big screen in its own movie as well as in other projects. So, and we don't know what version of that, whether it's Jon Stewart or some other version of the Green Lantern. We don't know, but they are going to double down on the character. And Ryan Reynolds coming back, not going to happen.
No,
but the fact that talk about characters they've really let sit on the shelf for a long time. That's one of them.
Yeah,
and
Hal Jordan.
Yeah, well, and the Green Lantern Corps specifically, really not involved in anything.
Right.
We saw a real small snippet of a Green Lantern in the Justice League movie at the beginning in the kind of the retro scenes they did, but nothing else. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, but look, this is a guy that he's not going to let these characters sit on the sideline too long.
Oh, no. He said that out. He also said that there will be a lot of cohesion between streaming, TV, movies, animation, all of it will start tying together, and everything they do moving forward will start tying together and start meaning something to the as a whole.
It makes all the sense in the world. They've really consolidated their properties to the feature films and what they're doing on HBO Max. They sold off the CW. Warner Brothers Discovery sold CW the network. They got rid of the Arrowverse. That whole thing was put to bed. They're done with it. So all of their properties are now going to be consolidated onto the big screen and on HBO Max. And they can really now tie these stories together, similar to what the Marvel Vision. And frankly, I mean, James Gunn is a very creative guy, but he also knows when there's good ideas out there, why recreate the wheel when I've already seen how it's done, right? He's been at Marvel. He knows how they're doing it and how it's worked.
Yeah.
And again, I think he's learned a lot from Kevin Feige, and why not use some of that information? And
and he's flat out come out and said that some of these big time characters, Superman, Batman, they're on the shelf way too long, and these are core. I mean, these are A-list core characters. I mean, nothing against Blue Beetle or Shazam or even Black Adam. All great characters, but they're definitely B characters. I mean, you got a handful of A characters that have been on the shelf, and I can't wait for him to bring them back.
Speaking of Blue Beetle, I'm glad to hear that project's still going on.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for that project because he's a great character. If you've watched Young Justice or the Teen Titans or any of the other animated projects that Blue Beetle's in, it's a great character, great story.
Not a lot of news about that, about the Blue Beetle, and upcoming shows like CXXP and other shows like that. it's not even listed as something that they're going to discuss or any panels or anything, which worries me a little bit, but maybe they're keeping it close to the vest.
Well, look, he's been there, a month?
Yeah.
So maybe he's trying to get his story together and figure out how they're going to market
he's already
this.
said DC will not be at some of these upcoming. It's just too soon.
Yeah.
They're not ready.
Yeah, well, I get there's a Brazil Comic Con.
That's CXXP, yeah,
right.
something like that.
Marvel's going to be there, and
Marvel's going to be there for
Sony.
sure.
I think they said they're going to be there and doing.
Well, they got Craven and Madam Web.
Sony came out and said they're making some major announcements at that Brazilian Comic Con. So yeah, it'll be great. So I can't wait. So hopefully over the next, look, we've got over the holiday period, not a lot coming out from a new material perspective, but hopefully we're just going to continue to get a lot of new announcements. We are expecting another Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer to hit sometime in the next week or two.
Yeah.
They're going to start ramping up that marketing engine because that movie comes out in February. So we'll probably see another trailer right around the holidays. We do expect to see a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer at some point in time here in the next probably month or so. So I'm excited. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
it'll be great. All right, well, let's jump into, we talked about Namor when we did our Black Panther review. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the rights to specific characters, Namor is in the same ownership umbrella as the Hulk was. So the Hulk character and the Namor character, the primary movie rights are owned by Universal Studios. And so Marvel, the reason why Mark Ruffalo and Marvel have never been able to do their own Hulk solo movie is because they don't own the rights to that character and the distribution rights to that movie. They've been able to use the character as a side character, but they haven't been able to
That's the agreement that they made, a special side agreement. Yeah.
Right. The same thing is the case for Namor. So if you're looking forward to a Namor solo project, it's not happening, folks. So,
but good news is that they still have the ability to use Namor in all kinds of other projects, like they have the Hulk. This is not the last we're going to see of this character. No, by any means. No way. He
will be in Secret Wars.
He was received way too aggressively. I mean, this character is so rich and so great. I mean, again, that's why I ranked it so high, because of him. I absolutely see them tying him to the Black Panda and Wakanda series.
The Black Panda, yeah.
The Black Panther series, and any series that they're working on as far as Wakanda is related. I absolutely think he's going to be a part of that. I think
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, absolutely. For sure.
Maybe even Captain America 4. I mean, who knows?
I would not be surprised. Now that I think this whole Vibranium War
Thunderbolts
is going on, I think we're going to really start to see him in a lot, because I think the main theme now, and I think
Vibranium is
is going to be the catalyst between all these conflicts. Is Vibranium.
Well, we saw what Val said in Wakanda Forever. She's like, that is her goal.
I stay awake at night dreaming of when we have our hands on Vibranium and become the superpower, and that's her goal. Yeah, absolutely. So I think Thunderbolts is heavily going to be about Vibranium.
Absolutely. Yeah. So really cool. But again, no solo projects for Namor, but we definitely plan to see this character again going forward in other projects. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Big time rumors hitting the internet this past week in regards to some major announcements about the next Spider-Man project, whether it's timing, release dates, other things that may come out very soon. Again, we heard all the announcements over the last month or so about Tom Holland's new deal and the sharing agreement being renewed and how he's going to be in the MCU going forward for 6 projects, roughly. But we should be getting an announcement about what's going on with Spider-Man 4 coming up. And there's a lot of rumor out there about a massive tie-in with these other street-level characters like Daredevil and Kingpin potentially playing a big role in Spider-Man 4.
Oh, wow.
So the exciting part of that for me is, again, we talked about this last week, I would love to see Spider-Man make a cameo in Daredevil Born Again. It's an 18-episode series on Disney+.
We're going to see a lot of cameos.
Bring the kid in for a few episodes, whether it's a couple of cameos.
I guarantee we're going to see She-Hulk. We're going to see a few.
Right, but these street-level characters, we're going to see potentially Jessica Jones and Luke Cage coming back and all these others. But bring Spider-Man in at the street level, great. He's a street level character. Kevin Feige's talked about, we have this kind of street level part of Marvel, and that's what we want to promote. Well, you know what? There is a conflict, between Spider-Man and the Kingpin in the comic books all the time.
Yeah.
And it makes all the sense in the world if you're going to cultivate the Kingpin character as this big underworld bad guy.
Right.
Spider-Man's going to have to get involved at some point in time because it's his city too.
Yeah.
And wow, that would be an awesome team up on the big screen.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm actually now very curious about Echo and that series. I know it's in the can. I know they're in post-production on a lot of things, special effects and things like that. I'm now really curious about it. I was not looking forward to it, to be honest with you. But all these recent announcements, I'm kind of looking forward to it now.
Right, and I think the last time we talked about it, we talked about how they were potentially looking to make it a shorter series, longer episodes, but less of them. So instead of 8 episodes, maybe making it 6 or 5, but making them hour to hour and 20 minute long. Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like extend it out a little bit. So I think that's a lot of the work they're putting into the project right now. Well, that one comes, I think next summer, right? Early summer, that one comes out. So we'll see that next year. That'll be great. All right, well, let's jump right into our topic of the week this week. Always brought to us by our friends over at Studio G. Studio G, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Keep up the good work down there, down south.
Studio G Studios, home of the man band, corner of the cob. As a matter of fact, Studio G just sent us some great promotional stuff. I'm going to put in this video for YouTube, and I'm going to start posting it on social media.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really good that's stuff. All the great work they're doing
promoting our 100th show. Yeah.
That's all the great work they keep doing for us. So thanks for all your support, Studio G. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Love you guys.
Our topic of the week this week is our review of the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. If you haven't watched it, what rock have you been living under? It was released to Disney Plus the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, just this past Friday. And wow, I mean, I got a chance to sit down and watch it with my entire family over the holiday weekend.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I really loved it. These short special presentations, I think it was like 48 minutes long or something like that. It was like
too short.
Concise, short. But it was perfect.
Yeah, it was good.
In so many ways, it was perfect.
It was fun. It was very funny.
Creative.
It was super creative. But it was also a little emotional at times.
Yeah.
It pulled on the heartstrings. And I thought that was amazing how you could go from laughing and like having a good time and literally sitting on your edge of the seat when the chase scene with Kevin Bacon, I was on the edge of my seat like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Like they're chasing him through the streets of LA. It was so great. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the show a lot. And, that song in the opening or, when the band is playing that song, James Gunn wrote that.
The something 97s, I came to the name,
band,
name of the band that they had. We just picked up these earth-based instruments and we've been learning to play them and we think we have a tune for you. Yes, he wrote all the music with the old 97s, I think they're called, or something like that. But he wrote the songs with them. As a matter of fact, even the song at the end of the episode that Kevin Bacon sang, obviously Kevin Bacon's in the Bacon Brothers. They've been doing music forever, so he's a musician as well. But he wrote that one as well. So, I mean, James Gunn's just a talented guy. I mean, but literally that song was hilarious when they're talking about Santa Claus and, all the stuff that he did. And it was like, no, he doesn't do any of that stuff, right?
What do you? No,
Star-Lord's like, no, he did, Peter, no.
I love the mixed media too. I love the cartoon backstory.
That was a great way. But I think maybe Michael Rooker couldn't be there in person, or they didn't want to bring him back on screen. It was
definitely his voice.
Yeah, but it was him. Doing the voice of Yondu. But it was really great to see him come back, and I love the fact the way they set up the episode with that story.
Yeah.
And then they ended the episode with, no, Peter's like, let me tell you what really happened.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Oh, it was great. Again, the mixed media really worked. Like usually when you get like half cartoon, half live action, something like that, it doesn't work. And I love how they didn't go high tech for the animated stuff.
No.
It was like old school animation.
Yeah, I loved it.
Like old school animation, like the Grinch that stole Christmas kind of that kind of stuff. I thought it really worked. The whole thing was fun as shit.
Well, and I love the fact that they really chose to center most of the episode around Drax and Mantis. James Gunn came out and said he wanted Mantis to have a big role in this special because he feels like she was a character that had kind of been on the sidelines, and he wanted to show her, portray her more. But it just goes to show. Drax, my wife said this. My wife Betsy said, he's the best. And he is. He's just hilarious. His timing is impeccable. It's just the way that his facial expressions, his physical movements are just so funny.
I think Mantis stole the show, to be honest.
Absolutely,
with you. I think this was the Mantis show, and we kind of got a big reveal in this, didn't we?
We did. We learned that Mantis and Star-Lord are related. That
brother and sister.
Ego is the father of both of them, and while we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that Ego had been breeding children around the galaxy, trying to find somebody that could, help him seed the galaxy with his kind of like celestial seed. And Peter ended up being the one that he needed to find, and he had killed all the other children off.
Right.
He kept Mantis alive because of her special abilities and her, ability to kind of
relax him and put him to sleep.
Right.
And, help him.
But we found out that they were brother and sister.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that was the touching part. It was like, Mantis, this is the best Christmas present I could ever ask for.
Right.
That was cute, man. I really liked it. And those characters are so rich, and James Gunn knows those characters so well. He knows the situations to put them in. He knows the comedic timing that each of them have. I thought it was great. Really good.
Well, they did, and again, this is theoretically a prequel to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and some of the things we learned in this episode that we'll probably be seeing a little bit more of in the movie, they bought Nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's a big reveal.
That's their head base now.
They purchased Nowhere,
from the Collector.
Head of the dead Celestial, where the Collector used to live. We saw in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. They purchased that from the Collector. So two things we learned: Collector's still alive, even though we thought Thanos might have killed him. He's still alive. And secondly, they purchased Nowhere, so now they own it. That's their base of operations. Yeah. So that's something that we're going to be seeing a little bit more of going forward in the movie.
James Gunn said, "You got to remember the Guardians of the Galaxy are basically mercenaries that happen to do good things and save the universe every once in a while, but they're still kind of Ravengers. They're still mercenaries, and that's their base of operation. They're kind of rebuilding it. Obviously, Thanos literally gutted it and destroyed it, but they're just trying to get that mining back up and running, and they're trying to basically run Nowhere as a legit mining institute and sell the wares of the celestial DNA and all that they're pulling from the rest that's left over.
Yep.
And I thought that was cool. It's really clever.
A couple of other really cool Easter eggs. We saw that who was it that gave Rocket Bucky's arm? I think it was the
blue chick.
the blue chick.
Not Gamora, her sister. Oh my God, I'm brain farting.
the
blue chick. Oh my God, what's her name?
I'm gonna let you go for it.
Nebula.
There you go. I knew you would get it. So she had stolen Bucky's arm and given it to Rocket as a Christmas present. And he's like, Bucky's arm? And number one, how'd they get the arm? Yeah, that's just great.
That was hilarious.
That was awesome.
Because if you remember back in Infinity War, he met Rocket for the first time, and he's holding him, and they're shooting, and they're killing all these creatures and stuff. He goes, "How much for the arm?" He goes, "It's not for sale."
He says, "How much for the gun?" And he goes, "Not for sale." He goes, "How much for the arm?" So that it was good. So he wants the arm, but that was great. I mean, just a lot of cool things. Again, the whole subplot of Drax and Mantis going to Earth to kidnap Kevin Bacon, and then learning that he's an actor, and they're like, "Oh, he's an actor."
Repulsive.
Repulsive. We hate actors. The two of them are fantastic.
That was great. Kevin Bacon was great in this.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was awesome. That was his real wife on the phone.
Yeah,
she
Kira
did the
Sedgwick.
Yeah, she did the voiceovers and stuff, and I thought it was great, man. I love Kevin Bacon. How great is he? Kevin Bacon is a national icon. He really is. He's he's a treasure.
But she had like mind wiped him, or like mind controlled him a little bit, and said, "You can be your normal self, but not an actor." And he's like, "I'm Batman. I'm Batman." She's like, "Who's Batman?" It's just so many cool little Easter eggs. It was funny. It was. I mean, again, it was what these special presentations should be. Something contained. You don't have to worry about what happened before. You don't have to worry about what's happening next. But it was just what it was, and it was really cool.
Another home run for another special presentation.
Right.
It's the second one that's done very, very well.
And post-credit scene leads us to believe there's going to be more.
Yeah.
Right? So
that was fun.
We had a post-credit scene.
Well, let's talk about the post-credit scene. And let's talk about the tree in the post-credit scene.
Well, Groot was playing the Christmas tree.
Yes.
So they had him standing there, because Groot is a tree. They had him standing there, and they were putting like lights and tinsel and everything else on him, and then he gets bored, he puts his arms down, and Rocket says, "Oh, Groot, you ruined it again.
You ruined Christmas.
Ruined Christmas. I guess we'll have to do another special."
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
That was great.
Yeah.
Groot's a different look. So right now, I think Groot is somewhat like a teenager, but he is almost like a linebacker. I mean, he is bulky, he's thick, he's short, but stocky and muscular. He looks completely different from
the
other
teenage
Groot
Groot we saw in Endgame.
Then the teenage Groot was this skinny, like, preteen, but I think he's a little bit older, not fully grown yet. He's still,
I think we're going to get back to full-size Groot with Guardians 3.
But I don't think he's going to look like the other Groot, the original Groot.
No, they'll probably make him look different. Yeah, why not? Yeah, because he's not the original Groot.
He's not the original Groot. He's like an offspring of him.
Right.
He's a Groot, but an offspring of him. So I love that they've changed his look completely, which is brilliant. And from a marketing standpoint and from a toy standpoint,
right.
Wow.
Well, think about it. We've had the original Groot, we had Baby Groot, we had Teen Groot. Now we have kind of like adolescent Groot,
right.
And so, we're going to probably go back to Big Groot, and Big Groot's probably going to be different.
Stockier.
Vin
thicker.
Diesel has talked about in some of the things that he's mentioned about some of the upcoming projects that he's been involved in. He's talked about, what was it called, the Mega Groot or something, like the biggest Groot you could ever imagine, going crazy. Cool. So, yeah, he's really excited about where this character's going. Obviously, he has 3 lines he has to remember every movie, but not too difficult of a voiceover for him. But
that's how he delivers them.
Yeah,
I am Groot.
Yeah.
I'm Groot. It's how he delivers them. That's where the brilliance is.
It's the delivery, absolutely. But I think this really does set up the next movie very well. I think it does make us look forward to seeing these characters again.
Yep.
We're
prediction on a trailer. When do you think we'll get that trailer?
I think the trailer will come out mid-January, is my guess.
Before Quantumania.
Yes.
Wow.
I think we'll get it probably a month before Quantumania. Similar to what we had with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania, I think we got that trailer like a month before Black Panther came out.
Uh-huh.
I think we'll get the Guardians trailer probably right after the holidays.
Okay.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was like,
Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That might be a little too late. I would think maybe National Championship, College Football National Championship, kind of mid-January time frame, doing it like then.
Bowl game maybe?
Yeah, and Marvel's going to be doing some Super Bowl stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think we're going to be getting that probably around mid-January would be my guess. They want it to come out a little bit before. It will be in the theaters with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in mid-February, but I think it'll be like a month before.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Great. Well, Professor, great show. Let's wrap it up. The bell is rung. School is over.
All right, well, that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week for more Super Talk. To get in touch with us on social media, hit us up via email, supertalkpodcast@outlook.com, or at supertalkpod on Twitter. Until then, stay super, everyone.
All right, we're out. Thank you, YouTube. What's up with this lighting? We lost the studio lights, huh?
Change levels like that. Black Viper. Everyone likes this game.